Hiya! Thanks for stopping by my art channel today. I really appreciate you coming to hang out with me. This week's video is about a set of markers I got as a gift. My other half came home and he had these in his shopping bag. He picked them out for me. And I'm super grateful because, it's always nice getting new art supplies, and I thought it would be super fun to share with y'all. So I've had King Art markers before. I had their water-based set, and I liked them. They had good colors. I'm not gonna lie, I spent the whole time I had that set wishing there were alcohol markers, and so now it's like my Unicorn King Art. They're alcohol markers. I like the colors that come in this set. I think some of the names are funky, like this one right here. It's called Buttercup Yellow. It's not Buttercup Yellow. I don't know what it is. And there's another one or two that are like, not so sure about this. It'll only be an issue if you're colorblind. And if you are, don't trust just the names. Go find a friend and have them pick out the colors that you're thinking about. And I guess that's all I have to say. If your color names are the worst thing I have to say about a set, that can't be too bad. As I said, they don't have the brush. They have I don't know what the rounded bullet tip and a chisel tip, I think is their proper names. And I was pleased as punch to have those because I actually know what to do. They're more predictable for me than the brush marker, and so I was happy. And I actually put in the whole amount of me doing the sketching process. A lot of the time I will leave out my sort of thinking on paper. I don't find it that interesting, but I thought that this was a pretty good go. A lot of drawings that I did like, and that you get a feel for what happens. Sometimes I get it out the first time of what I'm thinking about in my head, and sometimes it takes a few iterations. Maybe 5 once I figured out I didn't want to do dinosaurs, but I've had drawings that took 20 different sketches before I got a drawing that I wanted to turn into the final, and I was super pleased with this one, and it didn't take so long, so I thought I'd show you. So I am still doing the graphite transfer on the back of the sketch. I find it real easy. If I am particularly in love with the line work, I will use a light table. Oh, gosh. So that was the sketchbook. I decided not to use the watercolor sketchbook that you've been seeing me use a whole bunch because watercolor paper has texture and this is smooth like Bristol board. And so I thought that it would show better how I like to use markers than the watercolor paper. Some people really dig texture in their art. I am not that person. I think it's more interesting to do visual texture with things like little hearts or stars, like in this case. And that's how I gave this piece visual texture instead of actually like the texture of paper, because that's not what I love. Okay, so before I got off on that tangent, I was talking about doing the graphite transfer versus using a light board. And if I'm particularly in love with the line work, I will use a light board, and I will go and sometimes I will ink directly and sort of grace the thick parts and the thick parts while I'm inking, or sometimes I will trace the outside of the fat lines all the way down to into the thin lines and then take it and ink it separately. It depends on the day, but if I'm feeling that particular about the line work, I will go about doing it with the light board. If I don't care and I have what it takes, this line work that I did in the sketch isn't that precious. I can just trust myself to do it freehand and go with my aesthetic. I will rub the graphic pencil on the back, and then I'll just trace over the sketch and transfer it on and then wing it as I go. And I think either way works absolutely fine for how I'm working nowadays. there's been different periods in my life where I had to transfer stuff differently. And I'm currently enjoying that these are my two options. They're easy and not a whole bunch of work. So when I picked out the colors, I picked all those like cute light colors, and I realized, oh, it's all kind of light in the same range. So I went back and I picked darker versions of all the colors, and I used the darker colors to help create that sparkly around him. I was thinking a night sky, but it kind of looks like, in anime when like the love interest comes in and he's all like sparkling. I think I unintentionally did that to this alligator, but it's cute, and I think it would make a cute sticker. I might try that sometime. All right, my friends. This is the part where I'm supposed to remind you to like, subscribe, leave a comment. If I was gonna make more drawings like this, what other animals should I draw? Let me know. Till next time, bye. I think we got it. Wish I knew what I did with my head.